Hey there, we got another video today on Social Security. We all know that Social Security has its issues. It's quite underfunded for where it needs to be in the future. There's talk that there's going to have to be some pretty significant changes here in the very near future, definitely sooner rather than later. And there's starting to be quite a bit of proposals and bills that are starting to be launched out there by both Republicans and Democrats to talk about ways that we can change this and make it more fundamental where it will work and not be under a lot of stress, which it is today and will continue to be every day that we do not make a change to it. Now, there was one here recently that this video is going to be about called this whole chained consumer price index. And if you have not heard of this chained consumer price index, I'm going to explain it to you. And Obama recently just backed down from this change. And this is really a celebration for the seniors and the elderly who are counting on Social Security right now, and probably ticked off some of the Republicans who are hoping this could be one of the first answers. I personally don't know, in Retirement Think Tank, we don't know if this is the answer or not. I don't think it was going to change the big picture all that much. It does obviously take a little bit away from the current people who are getting it and obviously any future recipients, but this is definitely not enough, and this is going to save, you know, a couple $100 million, but you know, this thing is underfunded by hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars. So we're talking about a very, very small blip, but I do want to talk about this because it did make the news here recently. And really what they wanted to propose, a lot of more Republicans and Democrats on this one, they wanted to propose moving from the current CPI, how they calculate increases in your Social Security payments every year, to this chained consumer price index. And really what the chaining means is they chain it to an ever-changing market basket of goods, basket of commodities, to calculate inflation. And each month's basket is a little bit different than the months before. That's why this is one big long chain. So it's kind of like links in a chain where every month looks different versus the current one where it's always just pretty standard. And the logic of chaining, people might be asking, all right, why would they chain this stuff? The logic is that consumers tend to actually switch, you know, from different goods and commodities that go up compared to cheaper alternatives. You know, for instance, if gas doubled in price tomorrow, meaning oil and petroleum, a lot of people are going to be finding different ways to use solar and natural gas, etc. So it's on that concept. And same with steaks. Right now, as I record this, meat and steaks are like getting all-time highs. People are starting to go to chicken and other things like that. So that's really what this whole chaining is about. That they know that logically people do over time, especially when one commodity or price of goods goes up too high, that behavior is naturally that people will go find a lower alternative. But of course, the people who do not like this chain CPI think there's a different problem. It says both the regular and really this chain CPI give too little weight on things that the elderly who are really utilizing Social Security consume more of, which is particularly healthcare. That's one problem with all these different CPI indexes, is they don't take into, in fact, consideration healthcare costs, which have gone up significantly. And a lot of people have said the pros that this would save up to $160 billion over 10 years if we move to the chain versus what we have today. And that is a lot of money, $160 billion, every little bit helps, but still that's going to cut back significantly from what people get today. It will hurt the elderly and the people who are currently getting Social Security, but at the same point we have to make some changes. And sadly enough, $160 billion is still not even close to what we need to get this thing back on track. So there's going to be a lot more on this. You're going to see a lot more changes and a lot more bills here over the next 5 years on things that could possibly affect your Social Security. My advice is do what I'm doing. I'm assuming I'm going to get none of it. And really, Social Security, when it first came out, it was intended to not be some entitlement and something you're going to live on for the rest of your life. It was really there to reward the people who have worked, give them a little bit of a supplement in retirement for people that didn't have a pension at the time. So really treat it like a supplement. Don't ever think you can live off Social Security. There are going to be changes, whether you're receiving it today or you're going to receive it in 30 years from now, like myself, hopefully. But know that there's going to be changes and do not count on it. I'm personally, my family is saving, assuming we're not going to get a penny of it. Just worst case scenario, if we get any of it, even if we get $100 a month, it's better than what we thought we would get. So we're going to plan like there is no Social Security down the road, because that is a possibility. They might just can the whole thing, although I sincerely doubt it. But we'll have a lot more on Social Security and a lot more on bills and proposals and things that could be affecting your retirement income.